Imagine a man who parks his 2011 Honda Civic in the same parking lot every morning. A faded color doesn't really look good, and a small dent on the rear bumper. An ordinary car. His coworkers think he's going through hard times, maybe living paycheck to paycheck, maybe one crisis away from losing everything. What they don't know is this. The man has $4.2 million in index funds. His house is paid off. His children's college funds are fully loaded. He could retire tomorrow if he wanted, but he chooses that Civic deliberately. I did the same thing for years, my friend. I started as a small technician in the automotive sector, an ordinary technician working on the factory floor, hands greasy, wearing overalls. Then I became an engineer, then a manager, then I ran companies. For decades, I built production lines, constructed factories, carried the responsibility of thousands of people. And during all that time, I never bought an expensive car. I never showed off because I saw a lot in those factories, brother. I saw the ones with the highest salaries go bankrupt the fastest, and I saw the most ordinary-looking ones build the most solid foundations. That was the day I understood. Appearance is a trap, and silence is a strategy. According to the Millionaire Next Door research, the median price millionaires pay for their cars is just $31,367. Experian's automotive study reveals this. 61% of people earning over $250,000 drive Honda, Toyota, or Ford, not BMW, not Mercedes. Ordinary cars that blend into every parking lot. Meanwhile, 8% of those earning under $100,000 own luxury vehicles. They're buying $60,000 cars while earning $50,000 a year. One group is trying to look rich. The other group is actually rich. My friend, never forget these words. The poor man is poor because he wants to look rich. These two very rarely end up being the same person. Friend watching this video is not about being cheap. What I want to tell you is this. Looking poor might be one of the most important financial decisions you can make in your life. If you listen to this video until the end, you'll understand why I'm saying this. Research proves this overwhelmingly. People who truly build wealth look nothing like people who appear wealthy. Thomas Stanley and William Danko spent decades studying the lives of millionaires in America. Their findings turned everything upside down. 80% of millionaires didn't inherit their wealth. They built it themselves. Half have lived in the same home for more than 20 years. They're far more likely to drive a Ford than a Bentley. The researchers were shocked when they found that the vast majority of millionaires lived not in wealthy neighborhoods, but in middle-class and working-class areas. I wasn't shocked, brother, because I grew up in one of those neighborhoods, and I lived in one of those neighborhoods until old age. The explanation is simple. High-income white-collar professionals spend what they earn on luxury consumption. They want to be visible. They want to show everyone that they've made it. Real wealth builders play a completely different game. I've told thousands of people at seminars, and I'll keep saying it. Every cent spent on appearances is a cent that can't grow for 30 years. They do the math. Dave Ramsey's research on millionaire behaviors confirms the same pattern. The list of cars most used by millionaires starts with Toyota. Second is Honda. Third is Ford. BMW only comes in sixth. Mercedes doesn't even make the list. Jeff Bezos drove a Honda Accord for years. Mark Zuckerberg was photographed in an Acura TSX. Google co-founder Larry Page drove a Toyota Prius. Warren Buffett still lives in the house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. These are not people who couldn't afford better, my friend. These are people who decided that looking wealthy isn't worth paying the price of being truly wealthy. I made that decision very early in life, and that decision changed my life. Now I'm working to get you to do the same. The psychology behind this choice reveals something very important about how wealth actually works. Sociologist Thorstein Veblen introduced the concept of conspicuous consumption more than a century ago. His core observation was this: people don't just buy products for their use. They buy signals. Luxury brands don't sell materials, they sell stories. A $50,000 watch shows time with the same precision as a $50 watch. The extra $49,950 you pay buys something completely different: the right to signal status to others. In the crudest terms, we could call it the right to be cool, to show off. Research shows that those who view money as a symbol of power and success have lower levels of financial satisfaction. They buy expensive things to impress others. They don't plan their spending. The irony is brutal, my friend. The effort to look rich becomes one of the biggest factors preventing me from being truly rich. Every BMW you lease means a monthly payment that could have gone to investment. Every designer bag is an index fund share not purchased. Every status symbol has an opportunity cost measured in decades of compound growth. The 2025 Empower study found this: 62% of ordinary millionaires say they continue to budget even after crossing the $1 million mark, chase opportunities, and avoid a luxurious lifestyle. They know that the habits that build wealth and the habits that protect it are one and the same. I didn't learn this from theory. I learned it by living it. I invested part of my first paycheck from the factory. Then when I became a manager, I invested more. When I was running companies, I maintained the same habit. Be honest, when was the last time you made an investment? I never had a luxury car, never wore a brand name watch, never chased status. And today, I'm retired, I'm free, and I give the knowledge I want to the people I want for free because I no longer depend on anyone. Visible wealth also creates problems that quiet wealth completely prevents, brother. Research shows that individuals with assets of $1 million and above are 43% more exposed to identity theft compared to the general population. Cybercriminals don't target ordinary people. They mostly target people who display their wealth on social media. The Federal Trade Commission reported in 2023 that Americans lost $10.3 billion to fraud. Investment fraud alone accounted for $4.6 billion of those losses, and these schemes specifically target individuals who appear wealthy. Looking rich announces what you have. Looking poor protects it. The social dynamics of visible wealth create compounding pressures over time. When you arrive in a luxury car, people assume you can afford expensive restaurants. When you show up in designer clothes, coworkers expect you to pick up the check. When you live in a wealthy neighborhood, everyone's spending level around you inflates your own expectations, and you start spending like someone you're not. The person driving the old Honda, on the other hand, maintains access to a wider range of social connections. Nobody treats him differently because of perceived wealth. Nobody expects him to pay more than his share. This social invisibility offers something money genuinely can't buy: authenticity in relationships. The person who looks middle class while quietly becoming wealthy completely avoids this problem. Their friendships are based on who they are, not what they have. I experienced this very clearly in my retirement, my friend. The people I know still see me as an ordinary person. In their eyes, I'm still the same Mark, not a millionaire, and that is the greatest freedom for me. The authors of Millionaire Next Door created a framework that separates wealth builders from wealth destroyers. PAWs, prodigious accumulators of wealth. UAWs, under-accumulators of wealth. These categories have nothing to do with income and everything to do with behavior. A janitor earning $50,000 a year can be a far better paw than a doctor earning $700,000. The category is determined by spending habits, not salary. The formula is simple. Multiply your age by your annual gross household income. Divide by 10. A 40-year-old earning $150,000 should have a net worth of approximately $600,000. Those below that are spending what they earn instead of building wealth. UAWs live in luxury, style, and comfort. Most are highly educated professionals. They understand compound interest in theory, but don't apply it behaviorally. UAW spending habits come from what researchers call keeping up with the Joneses theory. Every purchase is an attempt to signal superiority. A better car than the neighbor, a better watch than the coworker, a better vacation than the sibling. These financial choices are called million-dollar decisions because if this choice had never been made, the person would have over $1 million more. The cigarette example in the original research makes the math very concrete. A couple smoked 3 packs a day for 46 years. The total cost of those cigarettes exceeded the value of their home by $33,000. If they had invested that money, their portfolio would have exceeded $2 million. Status purchases work the same way. The difference between a $30,000 car and an $80,000 car if invested at 7% annual return over 25 years, turns into approximately $270,000. That is the real cost of looking rich. The cultural programming that feeds visible consumption starts early and continuously strengthens. Stanley and Danko observed, young people are instilled with the belief that if you have money, you should spend it lavishly and show it off. Otherwise, you can't become wealthy. This programming comes from everywhere. Television shows glamorous lifestyles, social media displays curated consumption. Advertisements promise that buying will transform your identity. The message is consistent. Wealthy people look wealthy. This belief is demonstrably false, but its effects are real. Someone who internalizes this spends all their income maintaining appearances, finances a wealth-signaling life while destroying their actual net worth, and arrives at age 55 with a full wardrobe but a retirement account that can't sustain them. Someone who rejects this narrative quietly builds wealth, invests while others consume, compounds while others display, and arrives at age 55 with options the visible spender can never imagine. The quiet luxury trend imitates a partial correction from decades of conspicuous consumption. According to Bain & Company's 2024 Luxury Sector Report, wealthy consumers are increasingly preferring durability and craftsmanship over conspicuous consumption. The 2024 Accenture research found 52% of global shoppers now choose content creators who display practical luxury. After the Succession series ended, searches for Loro Piana exploded globally. The appeal was not in flashy logos, it was the opposite. Wealth that only those who truly understand can recognize. The practical advantages of looking poor extend to every financial interaction. Negotiation becomes simpler when the other party doesn't know your position. A car dealership greets someone arriving in a Honda Civic differently than someone arriving in a Mercedes. A contractor changes prices based on the neighborhood they're called to. Warren Buffett once said he has never been overcharged because nobody knows he's wealthy. Conspicuous consumption destroys this negotiating power. Service providers, salespeople, and contractors calibrate their prices to your ability to pay. Looking rich invites premium pricing. Looking middle class means being met with standard prices for life. The visibly wealthy pay a wealth tax on every purchase. The ordinary-looking person pays the normal price. Employment dynamics also favor the invisibly wealthy. Coworkers who think you're going through hard times see you as an ally. Bosses who see you as hungry assume you need the job. The moment visible wealth enters a professional relationship, the dynamics shift. Coworkers wonder why you're still working if you've already made it. Bosses start questioning your commitment. The quietly wealthy employee appears to need the job while actually having the security of not needing it. This is an extraordinarily powerful position, my friend. They can take risks that desperate employees cannot. They can negotiate from a position of strength while appearing to negotiate from a position of need. Family dynamics also improve when wealth is invisible. The Millionaire Next Door research found a negative correlation between receiving money from wealthy parents and building wealth among adult children. Adult children who received more from their parents accumulated less through their own efforts. Visibly wealthy parents constantly face requests for financial support. Children kill time waiting for inheritance instead of building their own foundations. Parents who look middle class while quietly being wealthy can give support strategically rather than yielding to social pressure. Their children, not knowing a safety net exists, develop greater confidence and self-reliance. The psychological benefits of invisible wealth are difficult to quantify, but impossible to ignore. Hedonic adaptation research shows that wealth increases create temporary peaks in happiness, but baseline levels return. The BMW excites for weeks, then becomes ordinary. The watch impresses for months, and then maybe you never wear it again. Every visible purchase offers diminishing emotional returns while permanently reducing financial capital. Quiet wealth works differently. A constantly growing net worth creates a continuous sense of security that doesn't adapt away. The person knows they could survive any emergency, get out of any situation, and sees their future is secure. This background security changes everything. You make decisions with less fear, relationships become less transactional, sleep is interrupted less by financial anxiety. In short, you stop caring. The visibly wealthy person is under constant pressure to maintain what they display, buying new things every year to show they're still successful. This cycle never stops. But on the other side, the invisibly wealthy person cannot experience such pressure. They've completely exited the display game. Their identity is not tied to spending. The long-term compound growth effects create an ever-widening gap. Someone earning $200,000 a year and saving 25% saves $50,000 a year excluding investment returns. At 7% average return over 25 years, this becomes approximately $3.4 million. Someone earning the same $200,000 and saving only 5%, spending the rest on visible consumption, saves $10,000 a year. Over the same period, this becomes approximately $680,000. The first looks middle class, the second looks rich. The first is genuinely wealthy. The second is financially struggling. 25 years later, the invisible wealthy person has 5 times the net worth of the visible spender, has options they could never even imagine, has security they'll never know. The visible spender has memories of beautiful things, a closet full of luxury items, stories of expensive experiences. Both made their own choices. Only one made choices that compound. The millionaire next door lifestyle fundamentally reframes what success actually means. Success is not what you can display. Success is what you no longer need to display. Success is not the things you have. It is the freedom you purchased with the money you saved. Success is what you don't have to buy. I'm living this freedom, my friend, and I want you to live it too. I worked labor for years. I produced for years. I saved for years. Everything I share at seminars now is the summary of those years. I hide nothing. I try to beautify nothing with commercial motives, because the only thing that matters to me now is this, that this knowledge reaches the right people. The 2011 Honda Civic in the parking lot represents something the owner's coworkers will never understand. The decision to value compound growth over social approval. The choice to build a secure foundation rather than display status. Those who see that old car and think themselves superior, they'll be forced to work until age 70 because they have no other options. The person driving that car can quit tomorrow. Looking poor is a strategic advantage that pays dividends in every dimension of life. It protects your wealth from thieves who target visible affluence. It protects your relationships from financial distortion. It keeps your negotiating power hidden in every transaction. It keeps your children motivated to build their own success. It provides psychological security without hedonic adaptation. It allows financial resources to grow without social spending pressure. The cost is minimal, my friend. Some people will think you have less than you do. Some will underestimate your success. These are the right things, my friend. Our goal was never to impress people you don't know. The goal was always a free life. Every millionaire driving a Toyota learned something most people never figure out. Wealth is not about what you display, brother. It's about what you protect, what you grow, and most importantly, what you no longer have to buy. I would like you to share your thoughts about the video in the comments.